Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break your keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met, even if you pretend. Am I in your debt? I don't owe you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face? But even living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape. Boku no mirai wa dare ni mo wakaru nai. Mina wa boku o damenai.
Good morning, guys. Sorry about that rough start this morning, but we got a little snow last night, yesterday afternoon, and it caused some problems here. So, anyway, just a quick little. This is a look out my back porch. Now, for some of you people, this may not be a lot of snow. Okay, this here's probably not just a whole lot to you. I mean, it's no big deal, whatever, right? But to us here in the South, that's a lot of snow. We got about well, it started snowing. I had to go, like I said, went to the doctor yesterday morning, and yesterday morning, whatever. Got back home. It was about 2 o'clock my time, and it was raining and what have you. And they were calling for snow, but they originally said it was going to be about 8 inches of snow, and then they dropped it to about 1 or 2 inches, and wasn't going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And normally this bush here, this tree, it's actually a tree. Normally this tree is like standing upright and stuff, but this is such a heavy, wet snow. It's weighted it completely down, blocked our, because normally this is the way we go in and out of our house. And it's got it blocked or whatever. But anyway, got home, and about 4 o'clock or so my time, it switched over to snow. And I called my wife, who was an hour away from here, right? And I was like, and we both work. I'm working from home right now, but normally we both work about an hour south of where we live. And so I called her and said, listen, it's getting, it's starting to stick. Get home. And so she leaves out. Now, normally it takes us like an hour, right? So, um, I'm staying in contact with her and as she's whatever. And so she gets this one section of the highway and it's at a complete and total standstill and it's on this hill or whatever. And anyone that drives in this type of weather and stuff, that, you don't stop on trying to start and stop on a hill. It's just, excuse me, it's just ludicrous, right? It's just, it's horrible. And so anyway, uh, finally, it was about 6 o'clock or so. So 2 hours after she started, she finally made it into the nearest big city where I live, and that's about normally about a 10-minute drive for me to get to, 15 depending on traffic. And she says, I can't go no further. And I said, okay. So I go out and I get in our other vehicle, which is 4-wheel drive. And I said, okay, I'm going to come get you. An hour later, I had her picked up and was headed back home. There were cars in the ditch. There were cars stranded on the side of the road. There were cars stranded on the wrong side of the road. I mean, they were heading. For me, it had been like east-west road. They were headed westwardly, but were pointed easterly, and vice versa. It was like driving on this road, this major road, and it was like trying to drive through a parking lot where everybody was just drunk and parked wherever they wanted to. It's just crazy. But anyway, yeah, they didn't have a peepaw to save them. I guess so. There were people all over Facebook posting messages. I'm stranded here. I'm stranded there. Anybody with the 4-wheel drive, please come get me. So, people who had 4-wheel drives and stuff, we were going out and about and getting people home and stuff. So, needless to say, people had a long, late night last night. But anyway, I think finally it was about 8 o'clock or so. The county judge here where I live declared an emergency, put down all roads as impassable, and told people to not be out. Several of the schools around us had kids that were either one school, 3 of their buses were not able to deliver their kids and had to come back and, then parents had to try to figure out a way to go get them. There were schools north of me, just a little ways. They actually had kids in school buses stranded out on the routes. And, we had, people were trying to get to them just to get the kids delivered safe. It was just, it's, when stuff like this happens to us here in the South, because we have no devices, no vehicles, we don't have, snow plows. We don't have any of that kind of stuff. Right. So when this stuff happens, it shuts us down. And it's always like a mad rush before when they're calling for weather and stuff, even if it's just like a couple of inches, right? It's like a mad rush. I mean, it's like a Waffle House on a Saturday night at, people fighting over loaves of bread and butter and milk and eggs and, trying to get just things like that, something to feed families or whatever, because inevitably, you're going to be snowed in for a few days. Right. But hopefully the weather will warm up quickly because, like I said, this was such a wet, heavy snow. I'm hoping that that the temperatures will get up a little bit this morning and get all that stuff melted off. But enough about that stuff. We're going to move on past that or whatever. and whatever. I guess the good news is the wife is home today. So I'll get to spend some time with her. And that's always a good thing because I love spending time with my wife. In case you guys didn't know, recently, Banana and I was invited to go on to the Whammon podcast. And anyway, so we went on last Friday. Yes, last Friday we went on and had a lovely time with these lovely young ladies. Let's see, it's Aussie Wordsmith, Purple Paw Prince, Chassis, and there's another one. I'm an idiot. Hang on. Let's see. Do they have it? Maybe. Stop. But yeah. Anyway, here's the podcast. Let's see. Here we go to the thing here. Channels to that. Nope. About us. Nope. Okay. You guys have got to get who's all on the show. Come on. Shannery, Empress, Aussie, and Purple Paw Prince. I'm sorry. Yes, that's who's. I knew Empress was one I was forgetting. I apologize, Empress. But anyway, we had a nice little visit with them. An hour and a half long. It looks like that's what it wound up the podcast being. They just kind of let us ramble on and what have you. But so give it a. I'm gonna. Hang on here. Let me do this here. What? Yeah, stop that. Okay. And get the link here. Do this here. Go over here. And I'm going to put this, boom, in the chat. Guys, check that out. I've tweeted it out as well. So you can find it on my Twitter feed as well. But go over and give it out. I'm going to listen to it today while I'm working. But had a real good time. Enjoyed my time with these ladies. And we'll have to extend the invitation to them and have them come over on onto the Clear as Mud one of these days. We don't normally have a whole lot of guests and stuff, but we have people calling in or whatever, but we don't normally do a lot of just. So we'll have to do something like that and check into that. I think maybe that may be something we start doing more often, is trying to have guests. We've had a few, but never that many at once. So it could be interesting, especially all women. So I came across this short, and I just found it funny, and it's about a dog. So, dogs and puppies are always cute, right? Well, thank you, Jay. Yeah, check that out. I'm going to check it out as well. I mean, I was in it, so I should remember, right? But sometimes I used to be really good about remembering every conversation I ever had. I mean, it was almost like a photographic memory. But honestly, as I've gotten older, my gears slip and I don't remember things as well. So hopefully I didn't make a complete and total horse's butt of myself, which is very well possible. And I guess that's great for them because it's going to give them some good entertainment, to laugh at me or whatever. But anyway, let's take a look at this dog. This just cracked me up.
Come here.
Look at this guy.
What did you do to my dog?
Yeah.
He's gonna be the star of the parade.
Tut, what did you do to my baby?
Oh my God. Look at that dog, y'all.
No.
Isn't that cool?
No.
That's a big dog, y'all. They done colored him up.
No.
He's the star. Come here.
He's the star. Oh me, that's pretty cool. I thought that's pretty cool. Let's see what else have I got here this morning. So this one here, I'm not real for sure about this first thing here. It's kind of a, I know what Zelda cartoon. Of course, I know what that is, right? That's the Zelda, Link of Zelda, and all that, right? But I guess they have a cartoon that they are making, whatever. Anyway, it says Don has ended his association with Tom. Flash Gets will continue. The talented and dedicated crew are hard at work on the Zelda cartoon. Um, Scooby ready for Pride, yo. Yeah, I don't know. That might have been what it was. I sure. I mean, so Gracial says she's going to go get her dog Green. Um, so anyway, and JFA, son, nothing you do is a secure connection. I love you, dude, but Streamlabs link not working. All right, hang on here, y'all. Let me see what's going on with Streamlabs. I don't do Streamlabs, first of all. It's Stream Elements because, oh, huh. Yeah, it looks like Stream Elements is having some issues this morning. I don't know what's going on with that, JFA. I apologize. I apologize, y'all. JFA was right. I extend my apologies, JFA. I extend my apologies. I should have never doubted you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They're having some sort of technical difficulties over there or something. So, oh, well, that's fine. So, every JFA has his day. Exactly. Exactly, JFA. Yeah, it's frozen over. Yeah, right, Rachel. 100%. If JFA is right, it has definitely gotten cold. Oh, Lord. But I'm not for sure exactly. Back to this thing here. I'm not for sure exactly what this is all about. This might be a shocker to you, but I'm not a big connoisseur of cartoons this day. When I was younger, I enjoyed a good cartoon, and occasionally I will still watch like um, F is for Family. I watched the first few seasons of it over there on the Netflix, and it was entertaining. But then it got like really kind of bad, even if it is Bill Burr, and so I don't really much care for it. Um, what is it? Big Mouth. That was another one that was on Netflix. Um, and like I said, the first couple of seasons on it was okay, but then the last couple, I'm like, yeah, so I'm just about giving up on it as well. Um, but y'all, listen now. Can we talk seriously for a second since we're talking shows? I loved playing the first Last of Us game, right? The original game. I loved it. It was really, really good. And I've got The Last of Us 2, and I've started playing through it, but I haven't made it all the way through yet because I'll get into it and then I get interrupted and I get distracted about something. And I do need to go back and finish the game because those are great games. They do a really good job of, of telling a story and involving you and getting you drawn in. But y'all, listen here now. HBO is doing a Last of Us series, right? Real action series or whatever. And the first episode was just knocked out of the park, right? It was I think they really did a really good job picking the actors for this. Even though if I'm to be honest here, right? I don't much care for Pascal's some of his political statements and stances and stuff that he's taken kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but he's a good actor, right? So I'm trying this whole separating the actor from the whatever, right? That whole thing that you guys are always talking about, the artist from the art or whatever, right? And so, but he is doing a really, really good job um, playing Joel. And this young lady that they've got that's playing Ellie, listen, y'all. Now, when I first started, the first episode, right? I was like, she looks familiar. Who is this chick, right? And it's the actress that played the little what was it? Bear. What was her name? Well, it was from the Game of Thrones, and she Mormont, yeah, she played Lady Mormont, right? And here that she was this little girl that stood up in front of all these big old burly men and called them all a bunch of vaginas, just a bunch of big wusses, and just put them in their place. And then she went toe to toe with one of them zombified ice giants and took his ass out, killed her in the process, but she took his ass out. That's her. I was like, hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I watched the second episode last night. I watched the second episode when I finally got home. I'd started it during the day, finished it up last night, and it's good. It is so good. And this series, whenever a TV show taking and putting something from like a video game or like a comic book, like with the Walking Dead series, right? Whenever they take on that and say, hey, we're going to make a show or we're going to make whatever, a movie or whatever it is, right? You always ask yourself, okay, so if they take and make a direct adaptation from whatever the game was or the original, comic book or whatever it is, or the book, they take a book and make it into a movie. If they make a direct adaptation of it, right? Are you going to like it as much because you've read the book, right? So why, and then there's people that like really get upset when when storylines and stuff don't follow the canon, right? Now, I'm not a person that necessarily gets really upset if they don't follow canon, because if you've already read the canon, so you kind of know what the characters are going to, whatever. So as long as they stay true to the what I feel is the heart of the characters, and even if they kind of put them in some different adventures or they give them in some different little storylines or whatever, I'm okay with that, as long as they stay true to the canon, right? So, like with The Walking Dead, they introduced characters that were never in the book, and they didn't stick to canon when they ended the series, right? But that was still an enjoyable. Now, there was a couple of seasons there that kind of got kind of bad, just kind of like, it was almost like they were just filling time, you know what I'm saying? But then the last, I'm gonna say probably well, they split the last season in half, and then the season before that. So I'll say probably the last two seasons, maybe, were really good, and they really kind of kicked it back up to the notch of where they were at, and so I enjoyed it. And even though, like I said, they had characters in there that they introduced that was never in the original comic books, right? And they had things that have happened, and if people are watching that, I don't want to divulge or give away or nothing like that, right? But that was fine. That was good. I have no problems with that, right? But now the question is, because so far, this Last of Us, the first two episodes, have pretty much, marched step in step with the game, right? So then the question is begging, are they going to just make a live action of the video game? And if they do, how are people going to receive that? Are they going to enjoy it? Because, like I said, you have those that are, yes, it should be exactly like the original, writing was, or a story, or whatever that is, right? But then you also have ones that are like, well, no, I've seen that. Let's do something a little bit more with the characters or whatever, right? So I don't know which ballpark or which side you fall in and whatever. But if you've got access to HBO Max, and if you enjoyed The Last of Us, and you haven't, definitely check it out. It's really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it so far. It's been, like I said, it's well worth the watch. So let's slide into the chat and see all's there, and we'll kind of do that quick run up. So we got Ren, we got Squatchin, Dave, Kim, Miss Kim's with us here this morning. Purple Paw Prints, of course. NYT Mom, Voltage Mike is in the house. I'm loving it. JFA, of course. Gracie's with us. Wookie Z. Hey, you'll be glad to know today, Wookie, I have no Waffle House stories for you. So you're good there. Pickleton, Ziley, Packapai, Nick, Jardosaur's here. Yeah, Trippy Savage as always. We got all the good people in here this morning. Cool. So anyway, but yeah, check out The Last of Us. Another really good series that I watched and we kind of talked about this and there was kind of people on both sides of it. But Dave and I really liked that 90s show, which was a continuation kind of that 70s show. So if you like the characters from that 70s show, I think you'll really like that 90s show. There's some growth that needs to happen on behalf of some of these young actors. But if you go back and look at the early, like the first few episodes, or whatever, the 70s, there was some roughness there too. So I kind of can appreciate that. And like I say, give it a shot. I think you'll like it. I think this is kind of some old news, but we'll cover it anyway here. So Rick and Morty here tweeted out that Adult Swim has ended its association with Justin Rowland. The Rick and Morty will continue. The talented and dedicated crew are hard at work on season 7. Of course, Justin Rowland is right now entangled in some situations. There's some serious allegations that have been levied against him about some inappropriateness, and so those people who like Rick and Morty, I guess they'll be glad to know that the show will continue. He just won't be doing the voice acting and I guess producing and that type of stuff for right now. I never really watched Rick and Morty. I don't even know if I've ever even watched an episode of it. But I know like Dave, loves Rick and Morty, and I know there was this big to do, whatever about it. Something about that Szechuan sauce. And they even got McDonald's to bring back their Szechuan sauce, dipping sauce, whatever. So anyway, I guess it has some impact or whatever on society, but anyway, whatever. So this next little thing is coming from, it's a clip from Chris the Narc was doing a stream, was attempting to do a 24-hour stream again. I don't think he quite made it, but anyway, we have this very memorable moment that we can watch and share with him. This happened during the stream last night.
A topic soon on the YouTube channel. I don't know what yet. I'm going to figure it out. But thank you guys. Wait, Tommy's having another kid?
Yeah, Tommy's having another kid,
Wait, what?
guys. You didn't know that?
Hold up. Hold up. Tommy C's having another kid? Holy shit. Congratulations to Tommy fucking C.
Yeah.
I am so fucking happy for you, Tommy. That's
Me too,
fucking
Tommy.
awesome. Let's
It's
all get
awesome.
some W's in the chat for
Get
Tommy.
some W's for Tommy.
He's adding
Yeah.
another addition to his family.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Good for Tommy. I can't be more excited for him. Like, that is the coolest fucking thing ever,
Cool.
man. Like literally the coolest thing ever. Jesus Christ, Tommy. That's fucking awesome. That's amazing. Thank you, Tom. Congrats, Tommy. Like, seriously. And thank you guys for letting me know about this before the end. He tested positive for COVID. Did I get trolled?
Yeah. Yeah, you got trolled, buddy.
Did I just get trolled?
Jeez. Yeah, so we had that. That was yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you there, Squatch, and I don't think Chris could tell the difference between a pregnancy test and a popsicle stick. Good Lord have mercy. So this is a great little segue into a story I got for you guys this morning. So the time was, let's see, it would have been 1997. Yeah. It was in the, what would it have been? Like fall? Yeah, fall of 1997. And the wife and I, mighty Mrs. Riv, we would have been married for about 2 years at this time. And we were living in this apartment down in Shreveport, Louisiana. And we had some birds. We had a parakeet and a cockatiel that were pets. And we would during the day and stuff, we would take them out of their cages or whatever and let them fly around or whatever, right? And have a little bit of freedom, and they'd come and fly and land on our shoulders, and you know groom you. They groom us and whatever, as birds do, whatever. And they were very well behaved and all that, and uh, and then of an evening they would fly into their cages, and we would close up their little doors or whatever and put the towels around their cages so they'd go to sleep at night, right? And so anyway, we this evening, whatever, we had forgotten to button up the cages, and so it was about, I think, about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And anyway, I get awoken from a sound sleep by a bird on top of my head. And so I come to, and I'm like, what? Of course, when you're come from a deep slumber, right? I mean, you're out till with something strange on you. I mean, you kind of freak out a little bit, So I'm like, what? I'm freaking out, whatever. And so anyway, so and of course, the wife wasn't in bed. She had went to the restroom, whatever, during this time, and that's probably what disturbed the birds and got them riled up or whatever. But anyway, so I get the birds, gather them up, and I put them into the in the cages or whatever. And anyway, so I go back to bed or whatever, and then the wife comes in, and how me thinking, how did it go? So she comes in and she's laughing, and I'm like, what's so funny, And she's like, she had this big elaborate thing that she was going to do, but because the birds got out of out of the cages, whatever, it kind of disrupted her stuff, and so she just handed me, the pregnancy stick or whatever to show that we were pregnant, and so like 2 o'clock in the morning, that's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when I found out for the first time that I was going to be a father, and so that was kind of a wild deal. So, but yeah, when something like that happens, and when a man is told that he's going to be a dad, right, or he's going to be a father, it's life changing, Um, I thought my life had changed when I got married, and it did. But nothing changes your life ever than when you become a parent. It is the most life-changing event ever. Um, when you marry somebody, I mean, you've always got that where you're going to have that person that's going to be there hopefully with you till the day you die. That's the plan or the goal, right? I mean, you go into marriage with, oh well, I'll be married for a few years here and get divorced. I mean, and that's not people's mindsets. At least I hope it's not. But anyway, we but when you become a father, you bring this person into the world, this soul into the world that you're ultimately responsible to and as a part of you. And it's just a whole different experience. And especially the first time you hold your child in your arms. Anyway, there's no other feeling like it. And I mean, I over the years, I've met a lot of young people and whatever, and they young couples because I was a DJ. I did wedding DJing and stuff for a long time, and I'd see these young couples and stuff, and some of them made it, you know, some of them made it and are still going strong. Have children. I mean, they're chugging along, whatever, and then some of them didn't. Some of them didn't last a few months. Some of them didn't last a year or so, right? But you know, and I see people say, "Well, I can't afford to get married, or I can't afford to have kids, or I can't afford this, or I can't afford that." Right? Well, I got news for you. I never could afford to get married. I sure as the devil never could afford to have kids. I just did it, and I just worked and got extra jobs and did whatever I had to do to provide for my family because the need was there, so I rose to meet the need. Um, I know there's people that out there in this world that are financially, to where they can, and it's no, there's no financial burden to put on them when they have children or start a family or anything like that, right? Great for them. I mean, no stress, no worries, no fuss, no muss, right? Um, but I'll just say this: if you ever anybody that's wanting to start kids or have kids and start a family, and they're married or whatever, and they're wanting to start a family. And if you say, well, we just can't afford it financially, I'll just tell you what, if that's the situation you're in, I'll just tell you, you never will be able to afford a family. You just won't. So it's either like, okay, we're just going to knuckle down and do it. And, we're going to do what it takes and just do it. Or you just don't. But, kind of like, I guess, Yoda, right? Either do or do not. There's no try, right? So anyway. Let's see what else do we have in the old hopper today. And this was a meme. I'm not sure who did this meme, but it was kind of funny. I thought someone did it. Says transgender man can get pregnant. Here's what they wish more people understood. By and I think this was maybe actually a real article, and someone just took that photo of Tommy and posed over it, whatever. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny, calling Dad or calling Tommy a transgender. Oh my god. Anyway, okay, so you guys know who OTK is? OTK is this organization business that was started by streamers like Asmongold, Mizkif, and a few other ones, right? All right. So we know what happened with Mizkif, right? We know that Mizkif was voted off the island, as it were, right, with OTK and matter of fact, let's go out there and look to see if OTK ever. Let's see here. Where is it at? Where's the OTK? They had their website. Come on. Okay. Where is the? So the owners were Asmongold, Esfan, Mizkif, Tips Out, M. Paul, Jashlat, and Soda Poppin. Let's go here to their website here. The Kings of Content. Let's go here. I want to see. Creators. Okay. Yeah, enough of your ads. Okay, so they still have Mizkif on here. Interesting. 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 Well, so this is Bruce. And Bruce was a member of OTK. And he recently announced his departure from OTK. Okay. And this is what he had to say for his reason of why he left OTK.
Always felt like a family until it didn't, you know, and that's not their fault. But the reason I left is because I didn't want to be seen as the black person that was going to carry them to the triumph and hold the sword and take all the heat looking bad. I wear my heart on my sleeve a lot, y'all. And you always...
Okay. So he says the reason why he left is because he didn't want to be viewed as the person, right, that's carrying him on. Well, then this happened on a subsequent stream, and he addresses Mizkif.
Mizkif, stop texting my phone. You are blocked, bitch ass nigga. Don't ever come at me like that ever a day in your fucking life. I did way more for you than I was even supposed to, nigga. Period. Don't ever text my phone. You're blocked, nigga. Don't try to come at me. Let me talk to you on my tip shit. Don't ever try to text my phone. No. Fuck no. Nigga. You supposed to be sending good energy, nigga. I should have left when your bitch ass got exposed. Don't hit my phone on some lame ass shit like that ever again. Well, you won't be able to. You're blocked. Don't do that. That's that weird shit. I don't like that. And I'll call you out on that shit in front of everybody since you won't text my phone while I'm streaming in front of everybody. Fuck you now. Now it's fuck you. You weird as fuck. Period. It's no drama. It's just weird energy because I left and you know, it's like that.
So that's interesting. I found that interesting. Oh yeah, he going hard. Exactly. I'm not for sure what Mizkif texted this dude, but whatever it was, Bruce wasn't having it. Bruce said nope. Said you're getting a hard block. Well, this next subject, man. I'm a little bit hesitant because I don't like covering this crap. I just don't like covering this crap. But whatever. All right. All right, let's get into it, I guess. I don't want to get in. You know, I'm not going to get into it. I've got 10 minutes and I'm not going to get into something like this. It's just yucky crap. It's the whole, and you guys know what I'm talking about, right? The whole allegations that I guess Augie dropped, yesterday afternoon, evening, concerning Cyrus. Yeah, I'm just not going to get into that right now, guys. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off on this. I'm going to do the responsible thing. I'm going to look into this a little bit more. I'm going to research this a little bit more, even though this kind of stuff just turns my stomach. It literally turns my stomach. I am going to dig into it. I'm going to research it. I'm going to see if there's anything really there. I know there was some text messages that have been, dropped. I know that there is some recordings that have been dropped, and I know there was a video that Cyrus put up on his YouTube channel, then quickly turned it back or deleted it. Right. So, and I've got all that. I've got all that saved off. I've got screenshots, everything, because I did see that happen yesterday evening, and I screenshotted and saved off stuff as quickly as as I possibly could. So I believe I have everything right. Waiting can't be wrong, especially if you want to give it the room it needs to be presented clearly and accurately. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not throwing shade, and I'm not trying to be, say, oh, whatever. And I'm not saying that what happened didn't happen or what happened did happen. What I'm going to say is this: it's far too many times people rush to try to be the first ones to cover these stories, to cover things like this, and sometimes it's accurate, and the information that's put out is accurate, and uh, you know, uh, whatever. What I will say is this to the parties involved in this, these ladies who or lady, because I think I know there's one main one, and then I think there's maybe a few others that have come forward now. If, and I'm gonna preface this with a big, huge, giant if some of the things that I've seen, if these allegations are factual, and if you have evidence that points to this interaction with you being underage and the things that were going on, you need to do the following immediately. You need to, one, go to the parent or guardian that is in your life, right? That is entrusted with your well-being. You need to have a very open, frank, and serious conversation with everything that occurred. And you guys need to involve law enforcement. Let law enforcement get involved. Let them do their due diligence. Let them do their investigation. Let them be the arbiters of whatever justice, if there needs to be justice applied, let them be the arbiters of that justice. People coming and making TikToks or Instagram videos or YouTube videos and things like this, and even us as commentators who go out and critique these bad behaviors, that gets zero done. That gets absolutely positively zero things done. Do we bring attention to it? Do we potentially prevent it from future happening? Sure, I will give you that. But other than that, all it is a bunch of lip service, and nothing occurs. If these people who are out here doing this type of stuff, if they're not taken to task by law enforcement and there's no serious repercussions for their actions and behavior, then we might as well be trying to piss up a rope for all the good that it's doing, right? Because they will continue to do these type of things, especially if they have this type of inclination to be with younger people, right? If they don't get some sort of serious repercussions and or potentially hopefully some medical attention as far as like mental health, whatever. But this whole, I'm going to take a break from the internet and I'm going to reflect on my actions and deeds, and I'm going to get things, and they're gone for a month or two, and then they come back, and then it's like right back. They're welcomed in, and it's right back to status quo again, and it's not too long, and they're doing this shit again, right? So, like I said, might as well be pissing up a rope for all the good that you're doing. So, any of these young ladies that potentially, possibly might, I doubt if they'll ever see this video, but they do, you need to talk to the adults in your life. You need to make them aware of this stuff. You need to go to law enforcement. You need to allow them to do their due diligence. Let them investigate. See if there's actually stuff there. And if there is, hold these people accountable under the laws that exist. Then we as a community, we can talk about this. We can make light to it, right? Because then we have actual court cases, we have legal papers, we have all this stuff we'll have access to present, to back up. And otherwise, other than somebody made a Instagram video, or they made a TikTok video, or they made a Twit longer, or a Google Doc, or whatever the crap it is that they do, right? So anyway, that's my rant on that. I'm not going to touch this right now. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see where this plays out. Because if this is a nothing burger, I don't want to be responsible for, ruining somebody's life because maybe some woman or girl, whatever, got upset because they didn't get the time and attention that they wanted from their boyfriend or creator. What I don't know. And I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying I don't like touching these things. I just don't like touching those types of things. So let's see what's going on. Okay. I don't see anything queued up for over on Nerdy John. I don't know if Nerdy John has got anything going on this morning. I don't see any streams set up for later on this morning. Keep an eye on his Twitter feed. Keep an eye on his YouTube channel, because normally I know Nerdy John normally goes live about 8 o'clock or so. I'm sorry, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It goes usually about 30 minutes or so after I end my streams. Let's see. Dead on Dave. It is Willie Mac Wednesday. We should have a show tonight. Didn't have a show Monday night because Dave was doing they were doing a Raw 30 celebration. And I did pop in and I did chat just briefly. I just don't really watch wrestling anymore. I used to be a really big avid fan in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. About 3 decades there that I watched wrestling and I really enjoyed it, but I just don't. And I tried. I gave a good effort. I just couldn't get into it anymore. I think I just got too old. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, they still have a lot of really entertaining athletes that are very, and they do some really phenomenal athletic events and matches, and some of the stuff I would say is even more in some ways even a little bit more athletic than what it was when I was watching back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. A lot of high flying stuff, whatever. But I just couldn't get into it. But anyway, I know Dave did a thing over there Monday night on that. Last night we were in discussions of doing a show and kind of getting things kind of hammered out. And then I had to go rescue the Mighty Miss Riv, and so I kind of kiboshed it last night on that, and so that's kind of my fault, and I guess a little bit, but I think you guys understand why. But tonight we should have Willie Mac Wednesday. I'm not sure what all we'll be talking and discussing, but it's Willie Mac, and so there's really ever no limit or there's no roof on it, right? We just go wherever Willie Mac wants to go, and they're always highly entertaining shows. So make sure you tune in tonight. I think that'll be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is usually when we go live over there. But as always, watch Dave's Twitter, watch my Twitter for that. I don't think we'll see much out of Tommy right now. I did see earlier in a tweet that he put out that he was feeling a lot better today. So we might possibly get a Tommy C show tonight. I don't know, or this afternoon for me. we'll just kind of have to watch Tommy's as well. Yeah. So, uh, yeah, he said he was feeling a lot better. So maybe we'll get a show there. We'll see. See who else is out there. I don't know if this is one of the days that Nick and Augie and Tom are doing their let's play through the Minecraft or not. I don't know if this is one of their days that they're doing that. So you might have that. Xyle's always got stuff out there. Yeah, about a 50-50. Yeah, that's probably what I figured. Pinkleton. I mean, even though Pickleton rather, even though I know that the worst is probably behind him on this COVID thing, because it's basically gotten down now to where it's like a flu. You feel rough for a few days, 2 or 3 days, and that's it for the vast majority of people. There's still a few people that it really hits really, really hard and they still have to be hospitalized and things like that. But for the vast majority now, it's just basically just another code that you have to deal with. Um, didn't he say COVID? Well, yes, in the context that it's not this big, huge thing that we dealt with for 2 years, right? It is, and I've seen where some nations have actually downgraded uh, it basically to the flu. They've equated it to the flu now. So I think the worst is behind us on this thing. Um, I think it is basically the stage or the point of where it's basically like the flu, right? And that's not to say that it's to thumb our nose at or anything like that, because we still have people worldwide every year that dies from the flu, right? So I'm not being dismissive of it. I'm not being but it's not the big bad wolf that it once was. It has it has lost a lot of its bite, and there's just a lot of barking still going on. But um, Anyway, like I said, Xylee recently put out. I think Xylee had. Did Xylee have a? Did she stream? When did she stream? Let's look out here to see here. Yeah. So Zadi, see, I've got a lot of stuff to get caught up on because I was out. So Zadi put out a stream yesterday where she was talking to Flatley, looks like, and then of course then she also had the one with Troublemakers with Ruin Leon. That was a good episode. I enjoyed that one. I've got to watch the Flatley one. But I highly recommend Zali. Zali's shows are always entertaining, always. Um, there's a lot of stuff out there, guys, right now to watch. So if you're not being entertained, I would say at this point it's because you just ain't looking hard enough. If some of these guys that I've mentioned, if they're not your cup of tea, there's lots of other creators out there that I guarantee you this. Leon Lush, for example, Leon Lush has been putting out some really good stuff. Some of his content, I've been thoroughly enjoying it. He's been covering some stuff that's just, and he's got a channel that he does with his wife called Lush Life. If you've never watched, uh, if you've never watched any of their stuff, let's see here. Let me find Lush Life. Let's see here. This is on Lush. This is his Lush Life TV, right? And it's more about him and his wife and his son. But it's mainly it's just him and his wife watching and reacting and stuff. And his wife reminds me so much of my wife because she's a little bit more in touch with some of the stuff that goes online, but as a general rule, she's not. She's more of a just your average, what we call a normie, right? She's not in the business or whatever. And watching her react to some of this stuff is just hilarious. But if you guys haven't checked that out, you really should. because I love Mrs. Lush. She's just so funny. But anyway, like I say, Leon's got a lot going on, and I've been a real big supporter and fan of Leon for going clear back into his like 2000 and I'm gonna say 16, 17 somewhere there. Where I first started was he would show up on his these on my Twitter feed, and he would make these rants on Twitter, and he just turned red. He just as red as this shirt here I'm wearing. His head and his face would just turn red, and that's when they started calling him the Tomato Man, right? And and then he started making content on YouTube and stuff, and I started watching him. Some of his old content when he was doing stuff with Nigel, his little monkey, dude, is so funny. But anyway, listen, I've ran over a little bit, but of course I didn't get to see you guys yesterday, and we didn't get to entertain you guys last night on with Dave Tuesday night. But anyway, looking forward to seeing you guys tonight, Williamac Wednesday. Check out Xylee. Check out the Woman podcast. Check that out with Banana, and I was on there. There's like I said, there's just so much stuff out there, and I gotta get out of here and get to work. But listen, guys, keep your powder dry, and I'll see you in the funny papers.